Welcome everybody to another episode of Culture Cooking. I am so sorry we're a little bit late, guys, but I'm glad you all are still here. My name is Chef Jacobsen Valentine, and to my left I have
Chef Jamal.
Perfect. Where are you from, Jamal?
I'm with Grassroots PDX.
Perfect. And just FYI, Jamal is going to be working with us this summer at our summer program, so I'm so excited for him to be here tonight. And also we're going to talk a little bit more about our summer program later. So for those of you who don't know, Feed the Mass is a local food revolution organization in Portland, Oregon. It is our passion to inspire you to care about what they cook and what they eat. Food is one of the most influential ways to experience culture every day. Here on Culture Cooking, we go to the root of where food comes from and teach you how to cook popular dishes from around the world. We do this with ease and happiness because when it's easy and you enjoy it, you're more likely to do it. If you want to find out more information about us, please go to feedthemass.org. Links available in the chat. Before we start, I want all of you to learn a little bit more about Chef Jamal here. He has been curating our summer cooking classes along with me for kids in Portland area. So Jamal, would you like to tell people a little bit about yourself?
Thank you. So my name is Chef Jamal. I have a company called Grassroots PDX. I'll be working this summer to help with the kids' food program that we have here. I've been in the food industry for about a little over 10 years for now. I've worked in various positions, so front of the house, back of the house. So it's just been a real blast, the journey that I've been on. I'm really excited to work with you guys.
Love it. And what really got you into wanting to teach people how to cook?
Well, it was my growing up around food and the big impact that it had for me. At this point, I want to be able to give back all of this fun, cool knowledge that I have so people can have the same opportunities that I did.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for being here, Jamal. As we're preparing tonight's dish, we'd love to hear more about what you enjoy most about cooking. Several other volunteers are also cooking along with us. We could not do what we do as an organization and without them. So let's show them a little bit of love by throwing some heart emojis in the chat box. Please do so right now. Just a quick note, there will be 2 breaks in our classes this evening. Any questions about your setup, please raise your hand or put in the chats. We have Katrina and Jean in the chat going to be handling all your questions. They'll give us a heads up if you need to address it to the entire group. All right, this month we're going to Vietnam. Have you been to Vietnam?
No, I haven't actually.
Really? Me neither.
Oh,
but
okay.
I do know a couple things about Vietnam.
Let's hear it.
Vietnam is a South Asian country known for its beaches, rivers, Buddhist pagodas, and bustling cities to make one of the culture's most famous dishes, pho.
Oh.
So pho was first created in northern Vietnam during the mid-1880s. The dish was heavily influenced by both Chinese and French cooking. Rice noodles and spices were imported from China, and the French popularized eating of red meats. In fact, it is believed that pho derived from pot au feu, a French soup. Vietnam cooks blend the Chinese, French, and native influences to make this dish uniquely their own. So, let's go started. You ready?
Let's get started.
All
yes,
right.
Let's do it.
Now, like the ramen class we had last month, we're going to show you 2 ways to make this dish. One with my favorite summer tool, the Instant Pot, and the traditional pot method, which Jamal is going to be doing. I like using the Instant Pot because during this hot weather that we're having, which by the way is on my birthday, which is this Sunday, it's going to be 115 degrees, so I hope you guys are staying cool. We also, if you need water or anything like that, make sure you have that stocked up in your house. Super important. But it is really awesome because you don't have to turn on the stove.
Yeah.
You literally put all your ingredients in it, turn it on, put it in the corner. Hopefully it doesn't warm anything else, but put it in the corner. And then when it's done, you put it by the window, pop the steam, and it goes out the window.
That's it.
And then you're done. You got your cooking. It's all done in here. I think it's an amazing tool.
It is pretty cool because then the whole house or your apartment doesn't get super hot like you would with a normal pot.
Yeah, because think about it. You're boiling water that, if you ever, especially in the winter months, if you ever boiled a pot of water and all your windows fog up, it's the same thing for the summer months. So we don't want that hot air in our house. I don't want that, but I do want my pho in the middle of summer.
I want it.
Perfect. All right, let's go over our tools we're gonna be using today. So the first one, of course, you're gonna need 2 large pots. One is gonna be for your soup. The other one is going to be for your pasta. You're gonna need some knives. So Chef Jamal is gonna be using a chef knife. I'm gonna be using a Santoku style knife. And we're gonna need some cutting boards. I have my plastic cutting board. Jamal has his bamboo cutting board. Perfect. You're gonna need a strainer or spider. So I like using a spider because I think it's so much easier to just go into the pot, pull things out. But you can also use a fine mesh strainer or a colander. They work just well.
Or cheesecloth or something of that nature.
Yeah, anything to strain one liquid from the solids.
Yes.
Perfect. You're also going to need some handy dandy tongs because I think these are amazing tools. Mainly because you get to pick things out and you don't have to worry about burning your fingers. Really good tool. You're gonna need a towel or hot pad. We have those. Jamal has his. Perfect. We have our hot pads. This is gonna be super important because, of course, you're in the kitchen. If you touch anything hot, you wanna use a hot pad or a towel. Super important. And then, of course, you're gonna need 2 large bowls. We have them both right here. Beautiful. And then you're gonna need a ladle, which we have 1 ladle right here, we use for both broths, and a spoon. Perfect. We're set. All right, Jamal, let's go over ingredients.
Let's talk about ingredients. All right, so the recipe that we're doing today is gonna yield 4 servings. So we're gonna have 4 cups of chicken broth. We have ours in our pot right now, and it can be handmade, it can be homemade or low sodium. And then we're gonna have 2 chicken breasts.
Oh, I got those.
We're gonna grab those. And they're gonna be boneless and skinless for this recipe. And then we're gonna need 8 ounces of chicken bones, roasted, and then 1 white yellow onion, peeled and cut in half for us, 5 slices of fresh ginger, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 pods of star anise, 2.5 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1 quart of water that are in the pots. And then for your noodles today, it's gonna be 1 package, and that's gonna be about 8 ounces. We love noodles, so there's gonna be a little bit extra just for us.
Yes.
And then once we're done with all of that, that's for all of the broth and the tasty, delicious stuff. Now we're gonna do the stuff for our serving bowls, right? So this is gonna be a 1/4 cup of green bean sprouts, and then a 1/2 cup of cilantro sprigs, 1/4 cup of green onions that we're gonna chop up later, an 1/8 cup of Thai basil, or any basil of your choice, lime wedge, so we have our whole that we'll chop down earlier, jalapeno for spice.
Optional.
It's very optional. We're gonna use the whole thing. We're gonna use the whole thing.
I guess I'm using the whole thing.
We're gonna use the whole thing. So then 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. Hoisin sauce,
You're
thank
welcome.
you so much. And then 1 teaspoon of chili garlic sauce.
Which is also known as sambal. I love this stuff. Perfect. All right, quick question. Who here has been to Vietnam? If so, where? What did you enjoy most? And did you have a bowl of pho? Please put your answers in the chat, and I'm pretty sure Katrina and Jean are gonna tell us your answers in a few minutes. Now, I love Instant Pots. Do you know what an Instant Pot is?
It's an instant pot, right? Right?
It is the title of it.
I mean, so
if you read it, you would guess that. It definitely is.
It's a pressure cooker, right?
It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know what an Instant Pot is, a pressure cooker is something that takes the normal boiling point and it increases it by holding pressure in there. So that means that anything you put in here cooks a lot faster and a lot more concentrated. So you don't lose any liquid. You actually keep all the liquid, and all that liquid is infused.
Okay.
Unlike the pot method, which breaks the entire house hot, and on top of that, you have to add more water because it will evaporate.
And that's okay.
That's totally okay. I mean, no matter which way you go, there's no
this
better.
one's a little time consuming. This one's a little bit more
sleek,
streamlined.
You know, it's kind of like the Lamborghini of cooking utensils. I love this.
To each their own.
Hey, exactly. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is talk a little bit about the bones. So the bones that we've been roasting in our oven at 425 for about 30 to 45 minutes. Now, we sent an email to you guys last night to remind you, hey, make sure you're roasting your bones. But if you didn't, it's not a big deal. The big thing about this is this bones is gonna impart a lot more darker flavor, deeper flavor, but it will still just be as good if you didn't roast it. So don't feel bad if you didn't do it, but just remember, next time, roast your bones. Next, we have our onions in here that have been also roasted because I love roasted onion flavor. Gets a lot sweeter, a lot more concentrated.
Yes.
And then ginger, which of course is super delicious, but it's also good for yourself. You know why?
I think there is anti-inflammatory properties of it, and it kind of just helps the tummy settle. You know, so after like a night of being an adult, the next day you can make some instant pho, right?
There you go.
And to kind of settle your tummy down.
There you go. So we're gonna put this all into an Instant Pot. Perfect, got it going. All right, next, star anise. I love the smell of them. If you have these at home, these are amazing. You can get them whole or you can get them grounded, but it has that like kind of licorice flavor, which I don't know if you're a fan of licorice.
I love licorice.
Or even fennel, that's the same kind of, it's an anise. It's in the anise family, so I'm ready to put those in there. Bam, there we go. Then, of course, salt, because we have a lot of liquid in here, and we're using our own chicken broth, and our chicken broth is not even like salted or anything. It's literally chicken, water, and bones, and we diffuse it, and that's it. So we need to add a little bit of salt, because if not, it's gonna be just super watery, and it's not gonna be delicious. All right, water in there. And then next, of course, a little bit of salt, but also a lot more umami fish sauce. Now, understand this, if you're allergic to shellfish or anything like that, be very mindful about your fish sauce, because some fish sauce does have crab shells or shrimp shells. So be very mindful of what fish sauce you do grab, because you could accidentally, have an allergic attack if you're allergic to certain things in fish sauce. So always read your label or throw that in there. Now, the one thing I also say is if you're using fish sauce and you're gonna be cooking in your house, please, please, please have ventilation, because if you're in an apartment complex, the neighbors down the hall will smell this and they will not be happy. Or they could be really good, either way. All right, so the next, we're gonna throw our protein directly into this. Now this is super important because with my Instant Pot, this is gonna be fully cooked, just as long as the same as yours. But with this, it's gonna add in a little more flavor. It's gonna add in a lot more, also have a topping that we're gonna be chopping up later. So it's kind of doing two things. It's flavoring our broth and giving us an amazing protein source at the end. So we got chickens, literally, I feel like we accidentally killed Big Bird.
Oh my goodness, they're massive.
They're massive. They're about a pound each.
A pound.
So this could easily feed a family of 4. And if you ever been to our summer classes, one thing we talk about is protein, like the abundance of protein we eat every day. So just mind yourself, a pound of protein can easily feed 4 people. So if you're eating a pound of anything, no, that's a lot of protein, and you should be careful. I'm gonna keep that at that. All right. So people ask me a lot, why do we put bones in our broth? Why not just not bone broth, but why not just, putting chicken broth in and stuff like that? So one thing about bones is they actually have this thing called collagen. Do you know what collagen is?
Yeah, it's the stuff inside the bones.
Yeah. And what's really good about it is kind of has that like lip smack thing. So I think this is something that everybody should learn how to make, is a good bone broth, and with the collagen and stuff like that. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, feel free.
We can totally talk about it. So
While you make yours.
I make soup all the time, and I like to use the traditional method. So for me, that's going to be a big pot on my stove, actually overnight, or sometimes I just take all of these ingredients and I put it in the oven. For us right here, we're going to put all of our ingredients in, and then we're going to bring it up to a boil and down to a simmer for 30 minutes.
Why would you bring it up to a boil?
So we want to start that extraction process, right? Yes. So we want to start pulling out the collagen like we just talked about, and then we want to make sure that everything has a chance to start breaking down. But when we bring it back down to a simmer, we're going to be nice, and everything's going to be a little bit more gentle. We don't want something that's super cloudy, so if we keep it at a rolling boil, it's going to be super cloudy. We're looking for a little bit clearer, right?
Yeah, plus I imagine if it's boiling, it's going to eventually evaporate, so you have to add more water to it.
Especially in the traditional method where it goes everywhere.
I'm just saying, there's some pros and cons for everything.
All right, so let's start putting in these ingredients into the regular pot.
Perfect.
So I'll start with the bones and the ginger and the onions. That's right in there.
Perfect.
A little bit of fish sauce action. Okay. Salt for flavor. That wonderful star anise. And our protein, the other 1 pound chicken breast.
Yep. It's the other breast of the Big Bird. Just use your hand.
So I'm just going to use my hands, and we'll talk
Or you just
about
dump it. There you go. That works. Beautiful.
All right.
All right. You want to turn yours on?
Oh yeah.
Perfect. All right. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, y'all. We're going to get everything, because we have chicken. We want to make sure everything is sanitized and ready to go for you. We're also going to give you guys some time to kind of catch up, make sure you have everything boiling itself. Remember, by the end of our break, if we turn our pot on right now, it should be boiling by the time we end our break. So we'll remind you when we get back, please bring it down to a boil. Now, talking about boiling, make sure you get your big pot of water going, because we're going to be doing our rice noodles next.
All right, so let's talk about the evolution of this dish. It's actually quite interesting. So, Northern Style Pho tends to be similar.
Tends to be similar.
Tends to be simpler and is made with less ingredients.
Got it.
There are fewer cuts of meat and smaller pieces of ginger laid on top of the soup. The pho is served without bean sprouts or herbs. Instead, it's accompanied by green chilies and lime only. Now, Southern Style Pho is a complex dish made with a dozen ingredients.
Yep.
Bean sprouts, fresh basil, saw herb are typically served with each bowl.
Yeah, and so today we're actually going to be doing kind of more of a Southern style, because we have a bunch of herbs, everything like that, and a lot more complex. So, thank you. this man right here is man. He's like he's reading at a good level right now, a real good level. All right. I hope you guys have your water going right now, because it is going to be our next part of our dish. Also, we're going to do a quick check. We have our water boiling. Perfect. I want to make sure you guys have your water boiling. If it is boiling, please turn it down. Bring it down to the low setting on there. We're going to let it go for 30 seconds. So there we go. All right. So the next part is going to be all about our noodles. And have you ever wondered where like rice noodles come from?
Actually, I have. I love seeing them in stores, but sometimes I'm just like, where do these come from? And then where do ramen noodles come from?
Yeah, so like when I was doing a little bit of research, it was actually very interesting, because I was like, I want to teach everybody to make rice noodles. And boy, was I in for like a treat, because every time I looked at like, hey, how to do it at home, it is a process which I would never put on my worst enemies. It's a very hard process, and you need a little bit of a patience and equipment for that. First thing we're gonna get doing is let's go and get our large bowl of ice out of the fridge. We got some ice water. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna par cook our noodles. Now, what par cooking means is we're gonna cook it about 90% of the way. This is so that when we put our noodles into our pho, it doesn't get overcooked and it doesn't start falling apart, and you still want a little bit of tooth to it.
Yeah.
A little tooth, that I say. All right, so we're gonna get our pot of boiling water, lid off. Be careful, make sure you're using a hot pad. Don't do it like me, because I'm dangerous. All right, we're going to, if it's boiling, we're gonna turn it off. We're going to put our noodles right in, and we're gonna stir for 1 whole minute. Now, this is super important. We kind of want a lot of the, I would say, the sticky properties to kind of wash away, and making sure that our noodles do not stick together while it's cooking. That means you won't have noodles that are just clumped up. You ever had that happen?
Yeah, so many times. When I was first making noodles, it was not a pretty sight.
Yeah, and don't do the whole thing where you like salt the water or add in oil, because our broth is going to be plenty salty.
It's gonna have a lot of saltine or saline,
saltiness,
salty properties in there.
Exactly.
So we don't want to overdo it by salting this guy.
Perfect. Now, super important when we're doing this part, we're going to test it every, I would say, 2 minutes, because of course you never know if your water is super hot or what noodles you have. It could be less than 5 minutes, it could be 3 minutes, so we're always gonna check it every 2 minutes. All right, so we got our ice water that's ready to go. That's super important, because it's gonna shock, it's gonna immediately stop the cooking process. That's huge. So we're gonna check our noodles. It's been about 2 minutes. We're gonna see how it is. A little quick.
Oh, let me get some of that.
Oh, are you going in?
I'm gonna try.
Go for it. Go for it. Get in there.
Da, 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 da.
Hurt yourself.
So when you're doing this at home, be very careful. This is super hot.
Yep.
I
Don't do
have
it
chef fingers, so this is all fine for me. Let's give a nice little taste test.
See, I'm gonna be smart and I'm gonna do this.
So, while we're waiting,
don't mind me.
they're still a little chewy. Mm-hmm. Actually, they're still very chewy.
Very chewy.
So we're gonna let it go for about 4 more minutes or so.
Okay. So mind you, Do we have to keep chewing this?
We don't have to. We don't have to keep chewing this.
You don't have to keep chewing it. We're gonna have to keep chewing it.
So we're gonna store it in the fridge for no more than 12 hours if you're not gonna use all of it, but no longer than that because we don't want it to dry out, right?
Yeah, and also absorb a lot of those flavors in the fridge. That's like, oh god. I don't know if you guys ever accidentally put like something in the fridge and left the top on, and then you start like everything starts to taste like your food, or your food starts tasting like everything.
Yeah.
There's one time I left. What is it? We had herring. You ever had herring?
Oh, the little
pickled
fish?
herring.
Oh yes, they're so good.
Yeah. So the bottle accidentally leaked in there, and everything, including the eggs, smelled like pickled herring.
Well,
so,
that's one way to kind of infuse flavors everywhere. Right?
Never again. Never again. That's a horrible way of doing it. All right.
Okay, so let's take another 5-minute break. During that time, we're going to finish up our noodles. So we're gonna dump that hot water very carefully.
Yep,
We're gonna
that's right.
clean our area up a little bit. We're gonna break out our knife and our board and our ingredients that we talked about those last bits. So the bean sprouts and all of these green deliciousness. We're gonna chop those up and we're gonna work on some knife skills.
I want to tell you a little bit of something about. Did you know like how pho came to like the story behind pho coming to America?
No.
So, a bit more about the global migration of tonight's dish. Refugees fleeing Vietnam in spring of 1975 brought them their hopes and dreams of a better life. They also brought their culture and cuisine. Today, there are more than 2,000 pho restaurants spread across the United States and Canada. Now, Jamal, we're going to be doing a little bit of knife skills, and I love your technique, and I felt like I learned something from you every single time. So could you teach a little bit about knife skills and knife safety, and kind of take us through the paces?
Of course, yeah. So we will start with safety first, right? So with that, we need to understand our equipment and how that all works. So we're gonna do a little bit of identification of our knife. So as we pick up our knife, we're just gonna identify that this is the blade, right? So this is what we use for cutting purposes. And then this is gonna be the spine. And then the spine runs into, you can say the handle, you can say the tang, you can say
The grippy thing.
the grippy thing. And that's different for all knives, right? But the part that the blade and the handle meet, that's called the bolster.
Yep.
Right? So that's gonna be the part where we start this process. So so there's two different kinds, and I'll show you the one kind that I use. We are going to use your pointer finger because for me, my knife is an extension of my arm. So I'm gonna put this finger here, and then I'm gonna start curling right underneath the rest of my fingers in a very comfortable way. Now I'm not gripping it, so I get like white knuckled and I start losing circulation in my arm, because if you're chopping for a long period of time, that's gonna get uncomfortable. It's gonna be a nice golf grip of sorts.
Golf grip.
Golf
Okay.
grip of
So
sorts.
let's see. So finger out.
Finger out.
Grab it
Yeah.
gently. Okay.
Yeah, and
So
you can
it'll be
kind of like
different.
tuck that finger away, but I kind of like to just keep it straight.
Keep
you
it
know?
straight.
Not super
I got a
crazy.
ginormous hand, so I'm like tuck it in for mine.
That's all right.
All right.
Okay, so now we are going to start prepping our ingredients for our finished product of the pho. So let's start with the Thai basil, right? So we're just going to pick off a couple of these leaves. I'll give you a couple of these, right?
Thank you, thank you.
Bouquet
Super
for
easy.
you.
All right.
And we're just going to take off the leaves from the stems, and then we're going to gather those together.
Perfect.
Right? So once we do that, we'll just do a couple, right? There's nothing like
It
picking
smells
these
really
fresh,
good.
yes, right?
Oh, I love basil.
It's so good.
Do you guys like basil? If you like basils, can you throw some thumbs up in the chat? Oh yeah, this is definitely smell-o-vision. This is the best part about these classes.
Yeah, it's
you
just
get
like-
to smell and you can do it together. I love it.
And then if you're not smelling it, right? So if like you're holding your herbs and you're not smelling it, there's a really cool thing that you can do. Activate it so you can kind of just like smack it, right? So if I was putting this right onto the bowl,
Like that.
I mean, yeah.
I just killed it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
to each their own.
So a gentler smack.
Whatever you prefer.
I think I killed it. No joke. Like if you can see this, it's like
It's wilted now.
It's dead. All right.
Okay, so we're gonna have to water that or figure that out later. But once you do that, you kind of activate it. So then there's all these little like oils that are in these bad boys. So once we do that, we start to activate it. And when we start chopping, right, that also activates it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put those all together,
Yep.
and we're gonna layer them on top of each other.
Love it.
And then we're gonna do a nice little tuck roll situation.
Tuck roll situation.
So a
Hang
little
on, I'm getting
roll,
there.
a little tuck,
I'm a
roll.
little. I'm a little bit behind.
A little tuck. That's all right. We'll wait.
Oh, thank you.
We'll wait for you, sir.
I appreciate you. Rolling and tucking, rolling and tucking. All right.
So we're gonna pick up the knife and hold it in that grip that we just talked about, or the alternate grip if there is
Pinching
one.
it by the bolster.
There we go. And as we put our knife down, it's very important that our guide hand is curled, and it holds the product.
Holding.
And on the other side of the knife is what we're cutting. So if we want to have really tiny cuts, we only want to see a little bit of the product, and we're going to go in a nice rocking motion, letting the entire blade do all of the work for us.
Okay. Rocking motion.
Nice little rocking motion, looking at it, rocking motion, looking at it. Okay? So I'm going to tighten this up, and then we're just going to go chef speed.
Chef speed?
Just like a little bit of.
So you have to pay attention to what you're doing?
I mean, I have to, right?
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's
I like
kind
my
of scary
fingers.
because if you're not paying attention, you can easily cut. I'm just kidding. You can easily cut yourself, so don't do that.
And it's you want the knife to kind of be placed against your guide hand, because then you know where it is at all times, and nothing's gonna kind of get caught underneath it, right?
Definitely.
I.e. lost fingers, digits.
Guys,
Yeah,
please, most important thing, and I've told you guys about this a lot, please take your time. Don't rush like we are. We're mostly just playing around, but please do not rush. Chef speed is something you gain, it is not something that you are given. So please, take your time. All right, so we're gonna put that back in our little happy topping tray.
Little tray.
Little tray. I like that. Tray. Here you go.
Okay. Put those together. Take everything off of our cutting board because we like clean surfaces while we work.
Clean
right?
as we go. I like that. Beautiful.
Okay. Now, let's do the green onions next.
All right, green onions.
Da-da-da. One for you.
So how are we gonna cut these?
So we're gonna do something similar, right? But this time we don't need to tuck it away. So we're gonna use just the green parts here, and then we're gonna cut off this part. And then we're just gonna start from down here and just kind of slowly work our way down, getting nice little rings for the top of our dish.
Love it.
All right, so let's do that. So we're gonna chop off the tip.
Oh, okay.
All right, because we're gonna use the whole thing.
Oh, I thought this was the bottom.
It is the bottom. This is the root, so this is the bottom.
Got me
right?
confused. That's all right. I was like, did I have been teaching years like wrong? How have I missed this?
We got it.
We got it. All right. So.
And then I'm going to use my hand to control the product, right?
Okay,
So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to tuck it all in there.
Tucking it in.
Holding the knife.
Holding the knife.
Have the front of our knife in contact with the board at all times.
Got it.
And then we're just going to start that nice little rocking motion, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. So when I'm in my kitchen at home, or anyone else's kitchen for that fact, and I start chopping, I usually start singing, but since you guys are here, I'll save you.
No, what do you like to sing, man? You can't go be like, oh, by the way, I have this hidden talent that everyone needs to know, but you don't get to hear about it. But
I mean,
no,
it's
come
not
on,
a
man.
talent. It's not a talent.
It's a talent.
So what's? I don't have any songs in my head right now. Right now, I'm just thinking about pho because that's all I can smell.
Yes.
And I
It
hope that's
smells
all
amazing.
you can smell too.
What are you guys smelling, guys? Tell me what some ingredients you guys are smelling. Oh yeah.
Oh,
So a really cool thing, and I'm gonna kind of hijack a little bit of this.
go for it.
So if you want to change things up, you can actually turn your green onion a little bit up. And you can have like more of like a slanted cut, and I think that's
Fancy.
really. I mean, sometimes you got to be a little fancy, you know.
Yeah.
So if you want to just have your green onion in a curve,
Cutting on a bias,
cutting on that bias.
right? So then there's also a really cool trick where you can have that same thing, but you kind of keep it intact. So what you would do is you would keep all of this intact, and then you would use this straight portion, and then you just start doing little slits,
Oh.
right?
I
So
like
we
that.
do this. And remember that ice bath? Do we still have that ice bath?
It's gone,
All right.
but it's okay.
So what we would do is we make a bunch of little slits, and then it kind of comes out to this fan sort of situation.
Ooh.
We put that in ice water, and then it kind of blooms out.
Ooh.
So then we can kind of put that on top of our bowl.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah.
Oh, you fancy, huh?
You guys should give it a shot.
Try it out
Let
sometime.
me know what you think.
Do you have any questions so far, Katrina, Gene? Anybody chop their fingers off? If you have all fingers, give me a high five. High fives, high fives. I want to see those fingers. Beautiful, guys. Beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. All right, get the chopping. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep up. So we're gonna use the white part or no?
I would like to. I'd like to utilize all of the ingredients in some manner, so there's little waste, right? So we can save like the tips of this
And regrow it?
or make your own stock. I like to
Ooh.
just like collect a lot of veggie ends and whatnot to kind of make like a nice little stock at the end of the week or a couple weeks, whatever the case may be.
I can dig it.
Let me just finish this. Chop, chop, chop.
All right, so while he's finishing up, let's talk a little bit about the lime, and then you want to handle the jalapeno?
I'll handle the jalapeno.
All right, so limes. I think these are one of my favorite citruses. This is called a citrus because it is much like the lemons, oranges, and everything like that. Has that little rind on top. I love this. It smells super good. But before we cut it, it's super important we get the juices flowing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rub it. We're gonna roll it on a cutting board, kind of get those juices really going. This is super important. So if you have a really hard lime, this is a good way to kind of soften it up. And if you have a really ripe lime, just be very careful because you can actually smash it and then you got juice everywhere and then it's kind of a smashed lime. Don't do that. All right, so the way we're gonna cut this is very simple. We're gonna go the equator. So the equator is going not from top to bottom, but from across the way. We're gonna cut that right in half. So with this hand, we're gonna make an OK. So we got the OK. Everybody throw your OKs up. Let me see those OKs. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna open up your OK. We're gonna turn it, grabbing from the top to bottom, making a little tunnel. Now this little tunnel, the choo-choo train of our knife is gonna go in, cut all the way through. Beautiful. Pop out. Then from here, all we're gonna do is cut right in half. And one more time, right in half. Super simple. And then we have our first half, which is turned into fours. Put that onto the side, and we can do the same. So, how do we do a jalapeno?
All right, so we're gonna be very careful when we're cutting this, right? So once we cut into it, we have to be aware of what we're doing with our fingers because we can have an accident where we like touch our face or
Done that.
do something in a manner where that spice can be transferred to you, and it can just ruin your day.
Time, yes.
Yeah. So we like spicy, right?
I love spicy.
So I'm just gonna chop up the whole thing. So we're gonna take the tip off here.
Now, if you didn't have a jalapeno, what other like chilies could you use?
Oh my goodness, there's so many.
What's your favorite?
So I like to use the little Thai peppers.
Oh man,
Right.
those my grandma used to just make grow those. They grow like weeds.
They're so good. I like the flavor that it imparts on dishes, and you can get them fresh or dry,
Love
and
it.
then you can get it super crushed up, or I think that's it. I think it's just crushed up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't like spicy, because again, I like spicy, but he's crazy. There's a big difference. He's like, oh, let's go, when you go to a Thai restaurant, he's like, I want to order hot. And if you've ever been to a Thai restaurant, if you say hot, you mean lava. I tried that, I almost died.
To the point where they ask you, "Are you sure this is the
Oh,
spice
you
that
know,
you're looking
it's a
for?"
bad idea when they ask you, are you sure you want hot?
Yes.
Death.
Yes.
That's what they're saying.
Yes.
Death may happen. All right, so we're slicing it, nice little rings.
Nice little rings. We're gonna keep the seeds in there. If you prefer something with a little less heat, we can cut this in half, right?
Yep. Love that.
And then we can just start taking out these seeds So let's start doing that.
You okay?
Yeah, I was just thinking if I wanted a spoon or not.
You want to get a spoon?
I'll get a spoon.
Who doesn't like a good spoon? What? Spoons are cool.
All right, so we're gonna start taking these seeds out, which
Yep.
has a lot of heat, right? And I'm careful not to touch the inside of it because I wanna be aware of what I'm doing with my fingers.
Yep. Now, if you do touch your fingers, please wash your hands. It's a lot of soap and a lot of water. I call the 60-second rule. You wash your hands for 60 seconds. It sounds ridiculous, but it does help. But again, be very mindful.
Yes. Okay, so seeds are out.
Yep.
Right, so this is gonna be a little bit milder than this. There's a couple seeds in there. But
Okay.
now we're just gonna chop these bad boys up.
So those are my portions, that's yours.
Yeah, so there you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
So next we're gonna go into the cilantro here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna once again pick the leaves off of the stems and then chop those up.
So who here in our group, like when they try cilantro, tastes soap? So right now, guys, you're taking your cilantro, you're picking your leaves, is that correct?
Yes, we're picking off the leaves from the stems and we're gonna use those for our garnish. Now the stems, once again, they're going to be really good. I use a lot of this for stock.
Yep.
Parsley and cilantro, those green guys, I kind of like put a nice little bundle and then drop it in the water.
Yep.
Kind of like what we got going on over here, just, you know, with...
You know what I like to do with cilantro stems? I like to just blend them up.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you blend them up, you still get the cilantro flavor.
Right.
And then you don't waste them.
Right.
But you can also use them as a marinade. So like when they say you need cilantro to marinate something, I just grab that and like I use this for a marinade.
So you would just kind of like maybe like
Chop off the bottoms and use
Yeah.
the stems for marinades. Keep it in your freezer.
Okay.
Because the one thing about marinades is like it doesn't say it has to be like fresh. It just
Right.
says you need the flavor of something. And
Right.
when you put it in the freezer, I think it's fair. All right.
I like that. All right, so now we have our nice little leaf bundles,
Yep.
fall bundles of sorts.
Beautiful.
And we're gonna put that together, and we're gonna. So since we have this like loose product here, right?
Yep.
We're gonna that technique that we learned earlier, right? We're gonna curl away and
Yep.
control the product. We're gonna do the same thing, a little bit, right?
Okay.
So just
Like a rough chop.
a rough chop, nothing super crazy. We're not gonna go in there and like dice
Mince it
it.
up.
Like we're not gonna get it this small. We're just gonna
Just a
get
little
it
rough.
a little something, something.
A little rough. A little
Or
rough
you can
around
leave
the
it
edges.
whole. You can leave it whole. Right?
Leave it whole if you want to.
Yeah.
I like leaving it whole. I mean, if you like your stuff chopped up, you know, like a little kid, it's all good.
Okay.
I'm not gonna judge you.
Okay.
I mean, that wasn't okay, guys. Okay, time out. It was not a shot. I was just saying some kids like their stuff chopped up.
No,
I'm
you're
just saying.
absolutely right. Yes, yes, yes.
No judgment.
All right.
All right, so we got all of our things in there.
Yeah.
We got our toppings. All right.
And I think we're good with the chopping.
Perfect. All right, I think our chopping's done. Everybody give Chef Jamal a round of applause, please. Or even just shake those hands. I love that. Yep, give me those hands. Love it. All right, guys. It is about that time. We need to start checking on our broth. So let's go into our broth now. Hang on. I'm gonna take my Instant Pot off. It's gonna depressurize. But let's check on yours.
Oh man, that seems like a process.
Oh my gosh. I swear, dude. All right.
So as we go back to the traditional method of cooking things in a
Sorry, I
pot,
can't hear you with my Instapot. It's amazing.
we're gonna check and see how everything's doing. It looks pretty good.
Awesome.
So we're gonna start scooping everything out at this point.
Yep. So we're gonna take our chicken out first, and
Chicken
you
out
can put it right onto a little plate or onto the side to kind of
sit on
rest. You can put it right on there. Yeah. Oh yeah. And your chicken should be fully cooked. And an easy way to check that is by using the thermometer.
And now I'm gonna start scooping out all of that deliciousness that we had in there. So it's gonna be the ginger and the star anise.
Oh
And
yeah.
the bones. And look, the bones kind of started to break down a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, and if people want to see, we can kind of bring it in the middle, and like you guys can kind of see the bones breaking down. You guys should be checking your own bones. Want to see your bones? Like, we're gonna use our instant read thermometer to make sure our chicken's fully cooked. We're looking for 165 degrees.
Now, does that differ with different parts of the chicken?
It does actually. So when it comes to like dark meat, we're looking for 175. So if say you're not into white meat, which I'm totally understand, and you want like chicken thighs, we're looking for 175 degrees.
Okay.
So right now we're at 189, so that means it is well over the amazingness scale.
So that's victory for the traditional method so far.
Okay, here we go.
It's not a contest, we're just showing you two different ways.
All right. So we're gonna have you chop up your chicken. Mine's almost done depressurizing. You know what though? The one thing I do like about an Instant Pot is it really does make your place smell like it's been cooking all day really quickly. So yeah. Ooh, that looks good.
That looks so good.
So try it. Tell me
Yeah.
what it tastes like.
Okay.
Little piece of Rooney.
Piece for you.
Oh well, thank
and
you.
A piece for me.
And we'll do a taste test. Ooh.
That's really good.
Okay. I can't be mad about that. Okay.
Still got it.
You still got it. You still there. You good.
So how long does that part take?
It takes about 2 minutes,
Okay.
3 minutes. Who knows? But guys, we're gonna slice our chicken nice and thin, or as thick as you want. You can also chop it up because I know this guy likes his food chopped up. All day. All right. So our chicken, my broth is almost there. It'll be done before the end of the show. I promise.
Okay.
All right. Now, so I want to talk a little bit about the clarity of your broth. So as you can see in your broth right now, when you scoop everything out, the ingredients that are in there, it kind of looks a little murky. Now there's a couple ways to make your broth a little less murky. Now one of those things is a cheesecloth. It actually helps remove a lot of those things that make it murky. But also the quality of ingredients that you're putting in there. Now, we did have our bones roasted for this one, so it's gonna be a little bit darker, but if you didn't roast it, it's gonna be a little bit lighter. So either way totally works, I totally get it. Now, super important with this is make sure you're tasting your broth at the end. You wanna make sure you have enough salt. That's kind of like the big thing. It's easy to add salt later than having to remove it later, and you don't wanna have to water down all the other flavors. So if you want, grab a spoon, taste your stock, we're gonna taste yours, and then we'll do a taste test.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Come on, baby, we're
Spoon
almost
for you
done.
when you're cutting
Oh,
board.
well, thank you. I'm gonna taste your amazingness over here. I love it.
All right.
Ooh, ooh,
Okay.
ooh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
That works out. That works out.
Okay. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit more about like what are you guys smelling? Do you guys smell the herbs, the ginger, the star anise? What are you smelling? What are you smelling?
I'm smelling a lot of chicken. I'm smelling some star anise, and I think that's about it for me at the moment.
Perfect.
Do you have anything going on nostril-wise?
Right now, I don't know what I smelled, but like it's now just like calming down, so my sinuses are clearing out.
Okay.
So I can't really smell much, but I do smell some goodness. Now, I want to go over a quick thing about Hanoi. So like the different types of
yes.
of you know.
The different kinds of pho and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
where
yeah,
origination.
yeah.
Okay, so so there's Hanoi, which is going to be the northern part.
Yep.
And then Saigon, which is going to be the southern part, right?
Yep.
They have different styles by regions. And that's by the noodle width.
Yep.
The sweetness of the broth and choice of herbs. Many of the recipes include anti-inflammatory spices, like we talked about, like the star anise, the ginger, and the cinnamon.
Yep.
Giving pho its reputation for hangover cure.
Yep.
Honestly, that's kind of like how I got introduced to pho.
Okay.
It was a
Oh,
great,
do tell. We have a story.
story time. All right, so I went to Atlantic City for the first time.
Okay.
Didn't know what to expect.
Nope.
So afterwards, the next day, like most adults do, I was very hungover.
Got it.
And we had to drive
And for
from.
those of you who don't know what hungover is, we had too much fun the night before and ate too much ice cream.
Yes.
So of course our head was a little fuzzy.
Had like sugar. It was
It was
crazy.
so much
It was
ice
just-
cream.
It was just
so
bad.
much ice cream.
So on the drive back from Atlantic City, a friend introduced me to pho and said, "We need to go to this spot. We need to eat this hangover cure godness,
Yep.
nectar of the gods of sorts."
Yep.
So I had it, and oh my god, it was. I don't know if it was like a placebo effect or whatever the case may be, but I felt like cured.
You cured.
I felt so good after drinking and eating all of this delicious food. I was so happy, and then it became one of my favorite dishes. When was the first time you had?
So my first time was we were out late at night eating ice cream, about to have a hangover, and it was about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Ice cream was running low. I was in high spirits, but I was a little bit hungry. I wanted something a little bit warmer. So my friends took me to this place called Lick Lack.
Ooh.
It's really good. It's in downtown Portland.
Yes,
It
yes,
is
yes.
one of my favorite spots to get pho. And I had my first giant bowl of pho and immediately fell in love. And I haven't met a bowl of pho that was not my best friend.
Yes, pho is absolutely delicious, and I love soup at all times of the year.
Yep. I'm pretty sure this is almost done. Oh, no. No. Hang on. No, it's still there.
That's all
I'm
right.
sorry, guys. All right, so while this is happening, do you want to show us how to assemble your bowl of pho?
Of course.
And then hopefully, eventually, when time runs out, I will talk about mine.
Okay. So, ladle,
Noodles.
please.
Oh, ladle, got it coming.
Ladle.
Yes,
noodles.
chef. We chef. There you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so.
Let me get you some ingredients.
Oh, yes.
There you go, buddy.
Let's prep it on up. So let's do
Got you.
a little bit of broth action.
I'm gonna help you out real quick.
Oh, yeah.
So we can make sure everybody can see what you're doing.
Okay.
This is your stage.
This
right
is my
here.
station?
This is your stage. Wait, there
Okay.
it is, right here.
So here we go. We're gonna do 2 wonderful ladles.
Beautiful. Oh, that looks good.
And I'll just put that right back in
Oh,
there.
that looks good.
Right? And then we're gonna, then it's noodle time, right?
Noodle time.
There's so many noodles. There's so many noodles.
Oh dear baby, come on.
So we're just gonna take out some.
It's gonna happen.
All
So
right.
I made a mistake, guys. I didn't press off, and that's why it's taking forever to
That's all right.
depressurize. That's on me.
That's all right.
Don't worry. You know, if you don't read the manual things, these things will happen.
So we have noodles. I'm gonna do 3 lovely pieces of chicken. And I like mine a little bit thick, a little bit of mouthfeel in there.
Got it. And what gives you that mouth feel? Because you said like you like them like a mouth feel. What is that?
So I think we're gonna notice that when we taste our different broths. So my broth, right, was cooked fairly quickly and not under a lot of pressure. Yours was, right? So
Yep.
we're gonna get a lot of like this,
a lot more collagen.
and it's
Yeah.
gonna feel really full in our mouth. It's gonna be not so thin. It's gonna have that technical term of like viscosity around it. Viscosity, right? All right, so I'm gonna drop this lime in here to squeeze it later. We're gonna drop some of this wonderful Thai basil, just a nice little bunch over here. Some parsley,
Ooh, that
excuse
looks
me,
good.
cilantro,
That looks good.
right? And then some green onions. You can take the biases, and I'll just do boop.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 of the jalapenos,
Jalapenos
and then sprouts.
on a stick. Oh, that looks good. I'm excited for this. Let's get into my broth.
Oh
Oh yeah. All right. So let's get this chicken out. It's looking amazing. Now, so one thing about Instant Pot, it might have been in there for about 30 minutes, but it literally feels like it's probably been in there for hours because it's pretty soft. So we're gonna again strain out our bones, get it all out with our spider/strainer. And guys, FYI, if you are on our Instagram, make sure you @FeedTheMass and tag us in your pho recipes. I want to see what you guys are making. All right, you ready?
Let's taste it.
Let's taste it.
I'm like a kid in a candy store.
That's like super concentrated.
So it tastes different?
It tastes different.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
oh,
okay.
oh, the Jordan.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
That's really good.
That's really good. All right.
There is a big difference.
Little bit, yes. All right. So one thing I want to show you is with our chicken, it's definitely done, but it's like super tender. Like,
Oh, you don't need to cut it. You can just.
just shred it. Look at that. Look at that.
That's nice.
So you get your shredded chicken. And you do the same thing if you were like doing like carnitas or if you're doing like rice bowls or like that. Same method. It's amazing. Worth every investment in this. All right. Now let's make my bowl of ramen. All right. Or sorry, of pho. I've been cooking ramen all week.
Noodles.
All week. And this is like probably my 8th bowl of noodles and broth all week.
That's it?
8th?
Well, I mean, is that all the noodles?
No, I'm getting, man,
Yeah.
let me make my bowl,
Don't be
man.
noodle shy. Don't be noodle shy.
All right. Oh, God, man. All right. So we got our okay broth, and we're gonna come over here. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I hurt his feelings. I'm sorry, guys. All right, here we go. I'm gonna do a little half because it's so good. All right. So to decorate mine, all I'm gonna get my bundle of cilantro, a little bit of our jalapenos. We're gonna get our basil because I love basil. We're gonna go
Basil.
big.
Basil.
We're gonna get all basil. We're gonna get our green onions cut in a bias.
See, that makes a big difference there.
Oh, it does. It looks good.
It's so dramatic.
Well, I like drama. All right. Take our chicken. Nice and beautifully shredded chicken.
Oof.
Call your mama. We're gonna get our bean sprouts. Oh my gosh, yes. And then of
Smells so
course,
good.
we get our lime because we fancy.
So the lime, so the thing about acid, right? If we're putting it in this dish, it's gonna enhance a lot of the spice, and that acid is gonna be a very nice complement to all of the herbs. You wanna squeeze that right on top of everything, on everything, before
Just
you
like I
consume
did.
that bowl.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what we should do with the lime.
You know what I need to do? You gonna eat with me, bro?
Yes.
Just
Yes,
take a bite.
I'll-
I know you got dinner plans. Just take a bite, man. You know, I'm not telling you business. I'm just saying, try it a little bit with me. What is your meal plans tonight, Jamal?
What are my meal plans tonight? Actually, this is like one of those times where I just like relinquished all food rights. So since I'm at work with you guys, I let my significant other pick what we're gonna do for dinner. So I don't know. So it's gonna be a really fun surprise. So,
Yeah, go JG. Sorry,
that's all right. All right, a little bit of lime,
just a little.
just all of it. Okay. All right. So what do you think?
It's horrible. It's
Oh,
absolutely
man,
horrible.
That's a bummer. We should just, right?
All right. Now you playing too far. All right. So thank you guys so much. A couple things before we go. We cannot do what we do without you guys. So if you guys feel like you want to support everything we're doing, I want to give you guys the opportunity to volunteer. Our Fed program and ambassador program are desperately in need of volunteers this summer. So if you want to volunteer, please go to feedthemass.org/volunteer. If you also want to donate, please go to feedthemass.org/donate because we're a nonprofit. We need your support. And we can't do what you can do we can't do what we do without you.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you guys so much. I think we have something else, right?
I feel like
Yeah?
we have something else. I
Okay.
feel like we're missing something.
Just hold on one second. Hold on one second.
What's this one thing that you? Oh,
So, a little birdie told me it was your birthday weekend, so
oh my gosh.
a little bit of Vietnamese treats from the vegan place.
Mama do it?
Yep.
Oh, Tweet.
Yeah.
I miss Tweet.
So that's like the what are those, like a whoopie pie? sort
Whoopie
of?
pies,
You know,
yeah.
like it's chocolate and then cream in the middle sort of situation.
Aw.
Yeah. And this is supposed to be a traditional Vietnamese treat. So happy birthday.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Oh man. Okay, I gotta get into this. Sorry. All right, we're gonna try this together, guys. All right.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you don't know what this one's called?
Not off the
This
top
is
of my head,
delicious.
no.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's called Oh My God. That's it. Yep, we got it.
It's coconutty.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like brown sugar.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay. What about this one?
It's like almond. Something with almond on it.
Oh, you might have to just pick that one up.
Oh no. I'm master of the fork. All right.
So we bought these tasty treats from Mama Doot.
Mama Dut.
Mama Doot.
Yep.
I think it's a new vegan spot right here in Southeast Morrison. I'd check them out. Nice little, it's a little cafe sort of situation. They have some outdoor seating, and apparently the food is really good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging
Close
out
out,
with
man.
us.
Jamal's gonna close us out. Don't mind me. I'll be over here.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed your pho. If you have any questions, we'll be up in the chats for a little bit longer. Stay cool out there, drink the water, and we'll see you in a couple months. Thank
See
you.
you guys soon. Bye.